So what is your favorite children's book and why?
Okay, that's a hard one.
Yeah, I know, there's so many.
That's a hard one because I love Patricia Polacco and Jan Brett. Those are my favorite authors. And Patricia Polacco obviously is from Michigan, so that's another good connection. And she's also somebody who is not from the United States originally, so that's a whole nother, inclusive kind of connection that you can make with the kids about people and where they're from and their cultures. And Jan Brett, I just love the illustrations. I don't know if I could name a book. I guess Charlotte's Web.
Yeah.
Would be my favorite.
We just read that.
I guess that would be my and that's one I read every year with the kids.
Uh-huh.
I read all three of them, Stuart Little and Trumpet of the Swan, with the kids throughout the year. And so I guess if you forced me to pick one, it would be Charlotte's Web.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's my favorite.
Do you think children's literature is essential to a child's growth, and how so?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
We try and integrate books and reading and literature across curriculum areas. So not just, for reading, but we incorporated a lot with writing as far as using them as mentor texts for the kids to kind of model their own writing on. We look at real authors. I love hooking it in with math. That sometimes is a little trickier to connect, but there are a lot of books now on math with shapes and geometry and counting and that kind of thing. So I really try and incorporate books across curriculum. It's easy with science and social studies, but I think it really helps. The kids enjoy it because I feel like at home the kids just don't read as much anymore, so they're not getting it at home. So I feel like read alouds here at school and incorporating as much literature and real books, not ebooks.
Yes.
I'm a big, and I know I'm old.
No.
But I'm a big fan of having kids have a real actual book in their hands and not a tablet.
Right. I agree. Do you think adults can benefit from children's literature?
Yeah, for sure. I do. I think, every time I read a book, I kind of, even though I've been doing it forever, I feel like I get more out of it. I kind of look at books now through like writerly eyes. When I'm teaching the kids writing, and I never really, when I picked up a book, thought about it as how the author created the story. I looked at it more as what was in the story, the storyline, but not what went into creating that story. So, and I think it's just a neat time for parents to connect with their kids. Reading a book. So I get huge enjoyment out of sharing books with the kids, and it's fun to see their reaction and good opportunities for conversation and discussion.
No, in this class, it's all about the real message behind all the children's books. Going back and rereading Charlotte's Web, Goodnight Moon, all those books, I definitely read it from a different perspective
now. Exactly.
Now that I'm older and I kind of understand what they're saying.
Exactly. I mean, you can enjoy it initially as a child through a child's eyes, but then as you're an adult, you kind of understand more the message and the meaning that's behind the book that you can't appreciate when you're 6 or 7 years old.
Right. So when choosing a book to read to your class, does it take you a while to pick the right theme or message, or how much effort goes into that selection?
That used to be more difficult to do. I used to have to spend more time on my own kind of doing that, trying to find books that would fit in with the different units that we're teaching. But now with the reading and writing units, they give you, the Lucy Calkins, they give you texts. Suggested text to use. So I find that helps as a resource to look through those, and I kind of make sure that I get those, because those are kind of interwoven throughout the writing units and throughout the reading units. So, and then the library has really beefed up their collection of diversity books. So now that we have so many different cultures in the school, it didn't necessarily reflect in the books that we had in the library. It was just all white kids, basically.
That's a big issue. We just learned about that. It's a big issue going on right now. Yes.
It's huge. And kids that are Arabic or kids that are from different nationalities and different countries don't see themselves in children's books.
Right.
So we've kind of worked on, and disabilities as well, seeing kids in wheelchairs and seeing kids with walkers and different disabilities. So our librarian has really tried to beef up that part of our library, and I think there's more out there now, or there's more being written now than there used to be.
Yeah, and that kind of connects to my other question is that do you believe that minority groups are underrepresented in children's literature? Yes.
Yeah, initially now, for sure. I think that's changing as our awareness is changing.
Yeah.
So I think there are more things being written, but as far as like the classics and some of those old books, that's just the way they are.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that is definitely changing, which is good.
Yeah. So you've been teaching for many years.
Yes.
Do you see a difference in children's books from 10 years ago compared to today? Or do you see, like, the classics still lingering?
It's funny because I guess I still kind of gravitate towards those older books and books that I used when I started teaching.
I know, because I'm looking, I see, like, Click, Clack, Moo, and I see all the classics in here.
Yes.
Right.
So I kind of stick to those, but I love going in bookstores and picking up new ones too. But I tend to kind of stick with my old comfort zone books.
Yeah.
Our staff now is very young here at Eastover.
I know. All the old ones are gone. I don't recognize many names anymore.
They kind of come in, from their school experience, their college experiences, and say, this is a really great text. You should try this book with the kids and chapter books and things. So they're a good resource, too, that kind of help me interject some new life maybe into my collection.
Yeah. Do you believe it's important to introduce different cultures to your class through literature, and how do you go about this?
Yes. We just had, we have a committee here at school that focuses on the culture piece of school and things that we kind of need to be aware of in making all the kids feel welcome.
Yeah.
Friday we put together a whole day on diversity, differences and diversity. So kids, speakers came in and talked about being from different cultures. We had people coming in and talking about kids that had ADHD, physical disabilities too. We talked about dyslexia and autism. We had high school kids come in and talk to the kids about depression and anxiety, which I heard was very powerful for the third graders. So I think, we just need to be more aware of those cultures and making sure that, if kids are wearing different clothes, if they're eating different kinds of food, that doesn't mean it's bad.
Right.
And we need to recognize those differences and celebrate those differences.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so cool about Eastover is because it's not your typical Bloomfield Hills school.
Yeah.
We're a Title I school, so we have a extremely diverse population. It's not like the other side of the district.
Right.
So I think the kids here grow up with a better appreciation of seeing different colors of skin, different cultures, different backgrounds, different holidays, different celebrations, which is something that I've really liked about Eastover.
Yeah, and it's important because once you even get into middle school, high school, college, it's just all diverse and all different cultures.
Is.
And it's important to get the understanding right now.
Yeah, it is.
At a young age.
And I didn't get that. Like when I went through the schools here in Bloomfield, everybody was the same.
Yeah.
You rarely had an African American person. Everybody was white.
Yeah.
And now that has just really changed a lot. And for good. And here at Eastover too, we have different economical levels. We have families that are that are free and reduced lunch. So we qualify as being a Title I school, which people always think is odd in Bloomfield. That, what do you mean you have kids that can't, buy their own lunch?
Right.
So that's another diversity here that kids see that not everybody has that, golden spoon in their mouth.
What kinds of topics or messages would you like to see brought up in children's literature that maybe haven't been brought up in the past?
That's a hard one. I think something now that's kind of new is like all the transgender kinds of issues. Having two mom parent families or two dad families, the whole gay and lesbian kind of thing, because there are families that go through here where there are two moms or there are two dads or there are kids that identify as the other sex than what they are. So I think there needs to maybe be more push and emphasis on maybe introducing some of those topics at a level, which is hard, I would think.
For sure.
But I think that's kind of another thing that's kind of emerged recently that at least I'm not aware has been addressed in books.
I agree. Do you believe children should learn about heavy or sensitive topics through children's literature at a younger age, or do you think that should be kind of left for when they're a little older?
I think if it's done appropriately, like some of those topics of, transgender kids and gay and lesbian and just the word gay, I think it helps the sooner you kind of can address those issues and kids can kind of see that it's okay.
Yeah.
It's nothing that's weird and a lot of that too comes from their parents at home.
Yeah.
So at school here, if we can kind of push the message that, to be more accepting of others and that there are families, units that are different than their own, that's still okay. It's not weird or it's not different. So I think, yes, I think, the earlier, the better. And that's what I like about Eastover is because the kids come across it all the time. They see kids that are deaf. They see kids with horrific physical disabilities and handicaps. I think early the better for everything.
Yeah, seriously.
Then you don't grow up being so rigid and
sheltered.
Exactly.
Do you find children still looking forward to reading real books in this age of technology?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. I do feel like they enjoy, like when they get new books in their book boxes. On Mondays we shop for books, so they enjoy going through here and being able to choose their own books. They do enjoy the iPads. We use Epic books on the iPads, and the kids do enjoy that. So during Reader's Workshop, the kids have to read the traditional, books. But during Dear Time, the kids can take the iPads out and they can read on Epic. And there are good books on Epic, and for some kids that encourages them to read more so than picking a book.
Right.
So from that standpoint, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I think you need a balance. With technology now, the kids have the capability of having books read to them. So for those kids that are struggling with reading, they can still enjoy a book even though it's being read, to them.
Yeah.
But nothing beats a book.
Right, good. I'm happy you say that.
I feel that. I keep telling my, when I have grandkids, they will read books.
Right,
and,
exactly.
when they come to Grandma's house, it's going to be, reading a real book, not on a tablet.
Right. Do you find that children's books reflect societal issues? Or that society influences what children's books are being published?
I think that was true early on, like tradition in the beginning, because really when you look at literature and children's books, it's all the mom, dad, boy and a girl, everything's fine kind of a thing.
Right.
But I think as we've become more aware that we need to do a better job of representing society better. I think there's probably still issues with publishers and things where they probably shy away from things that might be a little more controversial, maybe, especially for kids.
Yeah.
We have parents that will take issues with sometimes books in the library just because of language or even the Junie B. Jones books, the language in the Junie B. Jones books, because she doesn't use proper grammar.
Right.
That's
have been
a bad
around
example.
forever.
They have been, and the kids love them.
Right.
Boys, girls love them. They're funny.
My favorite book. Right.
And I'm drawing a blank because I know that there have been some. Mrs. Galley would be a good one to talk to.
Yeah, I know. I thought about Mrs. Galley.
She's never here early in the morning,
though.
But she would be a good one to see what, because I know she's always talking about, parents complained about this, having this in the book, and whether it's dating or it's a kiss or a hug or something like that parents like, our kids should be reading these kinds of things.
Right.
And now we're just a K-3 school where we used to be K-5.
Right.
So there's still, I'm sure, some books in circulation out there that, should be, at the middle school now.
Yeah.
But, So I'm sure that there are still just people that are hesitant to publish.
Yeah, just because of the sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, then my final question is, in what ways can children's literature improve in your eyes?
I guess just being more inclusive and being more diverse.
Yeah.
Kind of a lot of things that we've talked about. You know, you never used to see books like this with, you know, different colors of skin, different clothing, you know, kids in wheelchairs. So I think we're kind of trending in the right direction.
When was this book published? All Are
let's
Welcome
see.
Here?
This was our school-wide read aloud this year. We had 2018.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting, telling. You know, I think we're coming into an era where we're gonna start seeing more of these kinds of books.
Yeah.
And I just think it takes time.
Yeah.
And it takes companies wanting to, you know, go out on a limb a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. For the most, I mean, literature is literature, and the classics and the older things are good too. Yeah. So I think becoming more contemporary or keeping up with the issues in the times socially might be a goal to continue working on. But there's just so much you can get out of stories.
Yeah.
I mean, even little board books, the Kevin Hankey's board books we use for teaching small moments in Writer's Workshop because, and the kids are like, oh, this is a baby book. And I'm like, but it's a small moment. It represents one thing, you know, a time when a child did one thing.
Yeah.
And then they want to read them all. So I've got these chunky board books. So I just think kids just need to be immersed in literature from the time that they're, you know, born really to, you know, you never really stop.
Yeah.
And I think now family life has changed so much, and parents are busy and kids are busy that, you know, I don't think kids read at home as much as they used to, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so